This is a video on how to set up a rubric in Illuminate for a written assignment, such as a poetry assignment or a one-pager or something that a student is writing or doing that is not actually administered through Illuminate, but you still want to capture data. So to start, go to Assessments and create assessment. And then it's grayed out, but there's a tab called Legacy, and you want to tap that. And then you want Manual Hybrid. This is for just creating an answer key when you're going to do a paper or some other type of assessment. Then it wants to know how many questions you want on your assessment. This is the number of levels that you're going to assess. So on our assignment, we are assessing 5 different levels. Hit create. Give it a title. I've already created ours that we're using, so I'm just going to call this a CFA example rubric. You can type in a description if you want. Click next. Then you want to find and link the standards that you want. So we're doing ELA and ours is grade 8. Tap search. And I know that ours is the assessment, or the standard is literary text, and oops, wrong one. We're analyzing craft and structure, and we're looking at how literary devices are used. So select the standard that you want, link the standards, go to next, and then this is the step to prepare your answer key. You're going to click rubric for each one of these. Then in correct, you're going to have the number of total points. So we usually rank things from 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 being the highest at advanced, and then all the way down to 1, which would be below basic. So I'm going to put in 4. And then the weight stays the same, and then you can link the standards for each question. Then tap next. You can attach materials, so if you had an instruction sheet or a hard copy of a rubric or something that you wanted, you would tap upload, and then you can drag it. You have to drag and drop it in to this box and tap attach, but I'm not going to attach anything. Tap next. Okay, so you see your questions, you see your question labels. You can actually rename your questions, but it'll only take 3 characters. So if you were looking at I don't know, style, for instance, you could put STY. I'm just going to leave mine 1 through 5. I'm also going to add a 0 over here because sometimes students leave off something that needs to be assessed. And it's not a 1 because it's not there, so it's a 0. We don't do anything down here. I'm going to click next. Then this is where you can share your rubric with your colleagues. And for this, I'm just going to click next. And then this is where it's a little different than a regular test because you're not actually administering it online. If you were to click administer online, it's going to show up in the student's queue that they have to do something, and they don't. You can print answer sheets if you want to bubble answer sheets when you score the assignment, and then you can scan them with the camera. But for this, I'm just going to exit the creation mode. Then it'll show you your details page. If you need to, you can adjust your performance bands. And then let's say I come back later and I'm wanting to input some data or input the kids' rubric scores. You can tap Enter Edit Responses. I was looking to see if it was in this, but it's not. This is the easiest way to get to it. You're going to enter Edit Responses. Then you're going to find the test. So I have CFA example rubric that I'm using for this example. And then I have all of my kids. And this is my question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say they got all 4s. You can actually type them in and tab over. It goes pretty fast, actually, or whatever the number happens to be. You don't need to put anything in under date taken or version, because when you close it, it's going to pop up in there for the date that you input the information. And so then when you are all finished, you can go to the overview page and it will show you your data in there. And that is how you set up a rubric and input ratings for writing assignments and things that are not input directly into Illuminate.